right after the games.
The steal by Williams-Goss, all alone for the flush. There's no quarter. It's win or go home.
Krebs wants another three. Yeah, he's got it.
16 teams vying for a spot in the Sweet 16.
Lachura. Tiny saves. Tyreek Jones on a rack attack.
Hold on to your bracket, or what's left of it.
Nigel Hayes. Wow.
Here comes round 2 of the NCAA tournament.
Hart. Here's Rob. Takes it all the way. Hits with a block.
This is the Cairo 7 Wrap-Up Show, presented by U.S. Bank.
The madness reaches the second round. Now, I'm usually talking Mariners baseball and spring training this time of year, and I show that I should just stick to baseball after my pick to win it all goes down today. At least Gonzaga punches its ticket to the Sweet 16, becoming the first team ever to beat Northwestern in the NCAA tournament. That's right, the first team Wildcats, a perfect 1-0, and they don't get bounced without a fight. It was all Zags, though, in the first half. Jonathan Williams going way above the rim for the flush. 22-10 Zags. Defense leading to offense. Nigel Williams-Goss, the steal, and he elevates to finish in style. Zags up 20 thanks to a 22-4 run, and they're not done. Zach Collins gets in on the act. Check out the oop there. Freshman delivers a lead, 38-20 at the half. It takes Northwestern 78 years to get into the tournament, and they don't want to leave just yet. A huge 23-8 run gets them right back into this game, finally hitting from the outside. Then a huge break for the Zags, up 5. Collins goes through the rim for the block that is clearly basket interference. Should be 2 points. Instead, Wildcats coach Chris Collins gets teed up arguing. After a couple of free throws, a lead that should have been 3 is now 7. And he was right. Nothing they can do about it. Killian Tilly, another freshman, above the rim. Another oop for the Zags, 72-63 at this point. More free throws down the stretch. Zags survive 79-73 as Mark Few gets win number 500, the third fastest coach to reach that milestone.
They just had kind of the spirit of a winner, and we talked about that at halftime. And I thought our guys did a good job of absorbing their runs and then making runs of our own. And then we basically just survived and hung on there at the end. But that's what this tournament's all about. You just need to advance. And I'm really happy to get these guys into the Sweet 16. It's a great week. And obviously we're hoping and planning for more.
After watching some film, we thought it would be best if we switched 1 through 4 off the ball and on the ball. So we were just really creative with our switches. And then at the end of the day, we just competed. I think that's what it boils down to. You can have whatever game plan you want, but at the end of the day, you have to compete. And I thought in the first half, our competitive level was really high.
Definitely a tale of two halves for the Zags, able to finish off the Wildcats today. We go back to Salt Lake City now and connect with Gary Horker, who's covering the Zags all tournament long. And, Gary, I'm not going to let you enjoy the win at all. I want to go right back to the no call on Collins, then the technical on Coach Collins.
Yeah.
What is the NCAA saying about this play?
Brad, the NCAA is making no bones about it. After the game, probably 5 minutes after the buzzer blew, they said the refs blew that call. They say it clearly was goaltending. If you haven't seen it, I'm going to show it to you in a second. But what should have happened was Northwestern should have been awarded 2 points in a giant momentum shift their way. Instead, it was a huge momentum shift, seismic, I might add, Gonzaga's way, because Gonzaga was awarded 2 free throws. Take a look. If you haven't seen that video, with just under 5 minutes to go in the game, Gonzaga was up by 7. The momentum swung Northwestern's way with Northwestern's Derek Pardon. He goes up. Gonzaga's Zach Collins clearly puts his hand way through the rim and through the net, and that should have been goaltending. And that should have been a call. And points for Northwestern, but there was no call there at all. The NCAA admits the ref blew that call. Northwestern coach Chris Collins goes wild. Refs call it technical, and it turned into 2 free throws for Gonzaga. Now listen to what Zach Collins told me right after the game. At first, he called it a block, and then he walked that statement back.
My friends have been texting me that my hand was in the rim or something like that, but I'm going to take that as a block. My goal is not to put my hand in the rim. I just went up and tried to block it. I thought I blocked it with my hands outside of the rim, but I guess I didn't. So I guess I got lucky on that part.
You know, it's not Zach Collins' job to make that call. He's just playing. There was a ton of contact. It was a very physical game, so he has nothing to apologize for. But, Brad, just imagine if that call had been made. Everything was going Northwestern's way at that point. Gonzaga's huge lead in the first half would have been cut to 3, and this building was shaking up until that point. So with that momentum shift goes Gonzaga's way, you can say the Bulldogs definitely dodged a bullet with about 5 minutes left in the game. Brad?
Absolutely, Gary. But then we never would have seen the crying kid from Northwestern, which they showed over and over again. More from you later, sir.
That's right.
That's right. We'll say
he's an internet hero, right?
Yes,
okay.
Yes. Viral. Thank you, Gary. Again, more from you a little bit later on. And we stay in the West for our next game today. Next up for the Zags, it's the winner of Notre Dame and West Virginia. Notre Dame trying to make its third consecutive trip to the Sweet 16. They got to get past Javon Carter, West Virginia, and that man, Mr. Hugs. Bob Huggins, yes. Early in the first, Carter, the fadeaway 3. And on that shot, West Virginia breaks the school's single-season scoring record set by Jerry West's team back in '59. They do it in 2 fewer games, too. Now, the normally efficient Irish having all kinds of trouble with the press of the Mountaineers. Notre Dame 10 turnovers and trailed by 7 in the first half. In the second, Carter, Tariq Phillips going to work. And Issa Ahmed ate up the boards. He had 9 rebounds and 1 big flush for the Mountaineers. Now with a little help from Matt Farrell, Bonzie Colson takes over for the Irish. He hit 10 of 15 shots, finished with 27 points to go along with 8 rebounds. 10 minutes to go, though, Colson picks up his 4th. Coach Bray, no choice but to leave him in, and Colson delivers, scoring 10 of Notre Dame's next 14 points. With 5 to go, Notre Dame making one last run, cutting the lead to 6 on a Matt Ryan 3 from the corner. But Carter answers right back with a fall-away triple from the left wing. He was 4 of 5 from behind the arc. Finishes with 24 points, and West Virginia headed to the Sweet 16 for the 3rd time since 2010. Some sweet redemption for the Mountaineers, who were upset by the 14th-seeded Stephen F. Austin in the first round last year. And you can bet the Zags will be getting ready to deal with that suffocating press of the Mountaineers. Now to Xavier, fresh off shaking up some brackets with a win over Maryland, taking on number 3 Florida State. 11th-seeded Seminoles dunked Florida Gulf Coast out of the building in the first round. Back and forth game early on. Florida State down 4 in the first, thanks to Xavier Rathan Mays and the driving layup. Meanwhile, Tyreek Jones bringing the thunder for Xavier, rocking the rim, not once, but over and over again. He had 13 points while he was lighting up the scoreboard and breaking that rim. Kaiser Gates steals the show from the bench, 4 of 5 from behind the arc, 1 of 5 Musketeers in double digits. Florida State, well, they couldn't buy a bucket down the stretch. Musketeers, meanwhile, on cruise control. Check out the dish. J.P. McCura to Jones. And, yeah, look out below. Impressive. And the block there, Xavier 59% from the floor. They get that emphatic rejection from Sean O'Mara. And you can see what they did. They roll easily. 91-66 up next for Xavier. A date with the winner of Arizona and St. Mary's.
The biggest thing for us going into this game today was to be able to take care of the ball, not get Florida State out in transition where they're phenomenal, and try to keep them off the glass. And we've been a pretty good rebounding team all year, but we've never faced the size and athleticism that we saw today. And we really passed the test in those 2 areas, and it gave us a chance to win. And thought guys really played loose on offense, and I'm just really happy for these guys.
They packed it in, made it very, and were determined that if we were going to win the game, we was going to have to hit from the perimeter, and they did a very good job of denying, packing it in and causing us to have to take the perimeter shots. And obviously tonight we were 4 for 21. We didn't shoot very well both nights here.
And now let's see who that is going to be. Who will they face? The others, the West other team in the tournament. The WCC's other team, St. Mary's, taking on number 2, Arizona. Gale is playing tough in the first half. Jock Landale, the high percentage shot. They're up 14-8. St. Mary's doing it on offense and defense early, out to a 10-point lead, 22-12. Holding Arizona without a field goal for 7 minutes in the first half. But Laurie Markkinen's putback gets the Wildcats to within 2 at 29-27. St. Mary's leads by 3 at the break. Zona never leads in the first half. Teams go back and forth in the second. 9 lead changes in the first 10 minutes. Alonzo Trier gets going. Tough banker, 49-46 lead for Arizona. Then Markkinen hits from behind the arc, his first 3 of the tournament. Wildcats extend their lead to 61-55. It was closer than Arizona would have liked, but they held on to win and advance to the Sweet 16 once again. Just one game in the South region, Middle Tennessee State and Butler meet after pulling off first-round upsets. Reggie Upshaw, one of the keys for the Blue Raiders, and was again today. Easy layup, thanks to the lapse on defense, a 2-point game early. Butler's defense created transition chances. A tipped pass, ball gets to Kamar Baldwin. He gets the layup and the foul. Meanwhile, Middle Tennessee State, they're leaned on Upshaw. He delivered. Open corner three, got it. They trailed by 5 at the break. Second half, Upshaw for 3 again. Won't go this time. Brandon Walters there for the offensive glass putback. Basket, foul. Middle Tennessee State would get to within 5. They press on defense, and it bites them. Easy layup underneath, the nail in the coffin. Butler wins 74-65. They will face the winner of tomorrow's game between North Carolina and Arkansas.
I just love our guys. I love the fight that they showed possession after possession, and players win games. We've got really good players, and they had a heck of an effort.
Before the week started, we knew that this was a 1 week at a time thing, and 1 day at a time even. So getting past Winthrop with the W and then going to this one, we knew it was going to be a great challenge. So getting the W today, it is a relief, but we know that we're not done yet. We're going to have to focus for whoever our next opponent is coming up.
Middle Tennessee was tough, so there's tough games throughout this tournament. Nothing's going to be easy, and it's just one game at a time, one possession at a time. And I think for us staying together was the biggest key to our victory.
3 regions down, 1 to go. We head to Buffalo to check in on the East region next, where the defending champs from Villanova, #1 seed overall, down to the wire with Wisconsin. How did the Badgers pull off the biggest upset of the tournament and ruin my bracket? Find out when we come back.
You're watching the Cairo 7 Wrap-Up Show, presented by U.S. Bank, the power of possible. Alexa, how can I win an Echo?
Cairo 7 is giving away 1 a week.
Go to the Cairo 7 Facebook page and enter for your chance to win an Amazon Echo. While you're there, like the Cairo 7 page and get the latest local news and weather updates. From the minute the alarm goes off, you've got your morning timed out. That's why we're here, to help you stay informed while you stay on schedule. Wake up with us. Watch Cairo 7 News in the morning. Weekdays 4:30 to 7.
The difference between possible and impossible, it's a person who believes they can, surrounded and supported by others, by us, who believe it too. U.S. Bank, the power of possible.
We're told to live large. But with Princess Cruises, your most extraordinary moments happen when you feel small. When you're completely outnumbered, overshadowed, and outshined. So what if you dared to explore this great, big, beautiful pond? What if you dared to feel small? Princess Cruises. Come back new.
Who gives you the best TV and internet experience at home and on the go?
How important is Wi-Fi in your house?
Very.
So what if I told you that Xfinity has the best in-home Wi-Fi experience?
Let me try it.
So let's pretend this is your home.
This picture is great.
You can stream all of your entertainment from any room.
And you can download everything on your DVR anywhere.
This is sweet.
I don't want to go back home to what I have.
Get a special offer on the X1 Double Play from Comcast for only $69.99 a month for 12 months. Sale now ends March 21st. So click, call, or visit an Xfinity store today.
Get to Nissan now and save on a lineup featuring Rogue. With available intelligent safety shield technologies that could stop for you. Take on the unexpected with 6 2017 IIHS top safety picks. It's clear why we're America's fastest growing auto brand. Get to Nissan now for 0% financing for up to 72 months on Rogue or save up to $10,000 on Titan XD.
Join the conversation 800,000 strong and growing, like the Cairo 7 Facebook page.
There is no safe bet in sports, or at least in the NCAA tournament. Another example today, the defending champs from Villanova don't even make it to the second round this year, upset by Wisconsin, who moves on to the Sweet 16 for the 4th straight year. Badgers getting it done. Really kind of a bad matchup from the get-go for Villanova. Wisconsin tough to score on in the paint. The defending champs starting out slow again. Meanwhile, the day belonged to the big Badgers. Nigel Hayes establishing himself early, part of a 9-0 early run for Wisconsin. Bronson Koenig, the other big key for Wisconsin. 3 of his 17 come at the end of the half. Watch this, between the legs. Badgers up 4, but he would pick up his 4th foul midway through the second. He heads to the bench. It's 31-27 at this point. Villanova look to its star, Josh Hart. He takes advantage to the rack. He ties it at 37. Leads the Cats with 19 points. Still tied. The clock winding down. Hayes whipping the baseline. Around the help, easy two with the left, finishes with 19, 2-point lead for Wisconsin. Hart tries to answer. In the lane, stripped, doesn't even get a shot off. The last of his 5 turnovers, it was all ball. Another free throw, leaves 3 seconds on the clock. Villanova can't even get off a final shot. The Wildcats stunned and bounced from the tournament, 65-62 the final. The Badgers beat a #1 seed for the 3rd time in the last 4 years.
Just an unbelievable, gutty performance that, against a terrific team. We didn't play perfectly, but we played well enough, and we had enough perseverance to be able to get things done in the amount of time we had. So just so excited and proud of these guys because they've had to battle through a lot this year.
I felt terrible, to say the least, when I got my 4th foul, and I was just sitting on the bench, trying to be a coach from the bench and help all our guys out. And I knew that's not how my career was going to end, and I just knew that when Coach gave me the opportunity to get back in there, I was going to, make something happen.
Today, we almost gave the game away. Fortunately, I thank the lucky stars that wasn't an intentional foul on me. I did make a play for the ball. I'm glad the ref saw that. But if that goes, intentional foul, he makes those 2, they get the ball back, we could be, talking about a great career that we've had.
These are, NCAA tournament games come down to, and they down the stretch, they made 2 great offensive plays, 2 great defensive stops, and that was the difference in the game. We knew it was going to be a tough game because we have so much respect for them, and they deserved it.
In Orlando, Florida with a home state game today against Tony Bennett and Virginia. The Cavs didn't have much offense, but what they did have came early in this game. 3-pointer puts Virginia up. Coach Bennett liking to keep games low scoring. I'm not sure if this is what he had in mind exactly. Florida red hot from the field while Virginia was ice cold. The Gators beat the buzzer at halftime, 31-17 at the break. Florida put together a 21-0 run that spanned from the end of the first half into the second half. Nothing going right for the Cavs. The Gators running all over them, 65-39 the final. Florida will advance to the Sweet 16. Ouch. Let's take a look now at the tournament matchups as they stand in the Midwest. Iowa State and Purdue battling it out right now. Their next opponent will be decided tomorrow between Kansas, a 1 seed, versus Michigan State. That game right here on Cairo 7 at 2:15. Michigan-Louisville also here on Cairo 7, the first game of the day at 9:10. Rhode Island-Oregon will battle out for the final spot into the Midwest. Now to the West region. Gonzaga advances. They get West Virginia next. Xavier will face Arizona. In the East, it's Wisconsin. Moving on to the Sweet 16 over Villanova. Again, for the 4th straight year, they get Florida in the next round. The other spots will be determined tomorrow between USC, a little surprise, and Baylor, and Duke, and South Carolina. And finally, the South region. Butler advances over Middle Tennessee State. They'll get the winner of North Carolina, Arkansas tomorrow. And the other games tomorrow, a few more: Cincinnati, UCLA, Wichita State, and Kentucky. All right, let's get back to Salt Lake City now in our Gonzaga coverage. Gary Horker still on the court. Yes, he is. Joining us once again. Zags played a much better first half tonight than they did Thursday night. I guess that's the good news, Gary, but not a great second half for the guys.
No, they have a hard time clearly putting 2 good halves together, Brad, and that's what the players told me in the locker room. They said against South Dakota State, the first half, they were abysmal. So what do? They come out, and you see fire in their eyes and running, and they are gunning, and they played incredible defense. So they go into the locker room with an 18-point cushion, and everybody in the stands, and I'm sure everybody at home is going, what on earth happened to that first half team? Because in the first half, keep in mind, they scored on 7 Northwestern turnovers. In the second half, Northwestern was causing Gonzaga to turn the ball over. So they have to be more consistent. The players admitted that to me, but they were mostly positive when I talked to them in the locker room right after the buzzer sounded. Here's what they had to tell me.
You got to, give yourselves credit, for pulling out the tough win, but there's always things that you can get better at, and we'll definitely watch the film and try to be better next week. We've kind of had that model all season long. Let's be better next week than we were this week, and, it'll stay true next week.
We got to be in attack mode for 40 minutes. We weren't in attack mode early in the second half, but credit them. They're down 18. They made a run, but we have to be in attack mode and come out swinging every half.
In the first half was great, and I think we can relax, and they started pressuring us, and we got a little bit lost, but at the end of the day, all that matters is we got the win and we move on to the next week.
At the end of the day, you just got to win the game, and we won. You got to win by 1 point in this month, and I don't know how much we won by, but we won, and we're still dancing, so we'll take it.
Every player we talked to a man, said you do not learn anything and you don't get any kind of momentum with an easy win. So, for perspective, folks, if you were frustrated by the second half, these guys know having their backs against the wall and being pushed to the wall by a very desperate and very talented up-and-coming Northwestern team will make the Gonzaga Bulldogs, in theory, a more battle-tested team. They're going to need that resolve going into San Jose if they figure they're going to have to compete with the West Virginia Mountaineers' stifling defense. It's going to be the battle of 2 different defenses, and they're going to have to put 2 halves together. They're both going to have to be quality halves to compete in the Sweet 16, Brad.
Gary, you're right. We saw how good West Virginia can be. We know how tough they are on defense. Thank you. Safe travels home, my friend. All right, the Husky women underway in their NCAA tournament tonight. That's right, UW, a number 3 seed playing at home. The first time they've played at home in the tournament since 1995. It was slow going for Washington, playing their first game in 15 days. Chantel Osahor getting the rebound, put back, and the foul. She had 10 boards in the first half. But Montana State actually led this game after the first quarter. A wild shot beats the buzzer, and the Bobcats were up by 1. Kelsey Plum, though, had a tough start to the game. Finally got going. First three-pointer came late in the game. Stepped back, got it right before the half ends. Second half is all Huskies. Everything going Washington's way. Nothing going right for Montana State after a scrum on the floor. Washington converts. Huskies will face Oklahoma in the second round right there at Heckhead on Sunday. They lead 91-63. Now, I trust that most in the Northwest had Gonzaga going to at least the Sweet 16 as they are. We will update the rest of our bracket challenge. I was last coming into today, and I will no doubt stay there, probably. Thanks, Villanova. Appreciate it. Plus, one more fantastic finish for you, the Toyota Fantastic Finish. It's a good one if you're a Wisconsin fan. That is coming up next.
You're watching the Cairo 7 Wrap-Up Show, presented by U.S. Bank, the power of possible.
Chevy is the most awarded car company 3 years in a row.
Really?
Let's see how quickly you can read through all their awards.
2017 Motor Trend Car of the Year.
Kelley Blue Book 2016 Best Resale Value. 2016 JD Power Highest Quality Ranking.
10 best blah, blah, blah.
2016.
Only got 90 more to go.
That's a lot of awards.
Qualified lessees can get this Chevy Cruze for around $129 a month. Plus, current select competitive lessees get an additional $3,000 competitive lease cash. See your Northwest Chevy dealer.
Tough Shed construction teams are ready. Ready for warmer weather. Ready for spring. Ready to get busy manufacturing and installing Tough Shed buildings. You can get a jump on spring with Tough Shed's annual spring clearance sale. 25% off upgrades and low monthly payments. Make now a great time to design your building and get it scheduled. The pros at Tough Shed are here to help. Stop in, call for an appointment, or configure a building online. For the store nearest you, call 1-800-BUY-TOUGH or visit us online at toughshed.com.
Remember when everything you did was for the fun of doing it? BMW's xDrive intelligent all-wheel drive technology senses traction loss and automatically shifts torque to the wheels that need it, so you can go wherever the fun takes you. And now it's available on more models than ever. BMW, the ultimate driving machine. Lease a BMW X3 xDrive 28i for $379 a month at a Puget Sound BMW Center.
Olive strawberries are 2 for $4, and point cut boneless corned beef brisket is $1.99 a pound.
All-wheel drive isn't all you get with a new Ford SUV. All the features that keep you safe, all the value you want, all the peace of mind you need. It's all behind the wheel of a Ford SUV, going further when it matters most. That's how you become America's best-selling brand. Now get $4,000 cash back or lease a four-wheel drive Escape for just $199 a month. See your local Ford store today.
Welcome back. Tonight's Toyota fantastic finish comes from who else? Villanova and Wisconsin. Closing seconds, the Badgers, Nigel Hayes, getting the matchup he's looking for, spins around the defender, gets the deuce, left hand off the glass, put him up by 2. Ensuing play, Nova's last chance. Josh Hart, Player of the Year candidate. Oh, gets stripped, doesn't get the shot off. Vito Brown, all ball, has shut the door on Villanova. The number 1 overall seed is out, and that's your Toyota fantastic finish. And with that, let's talk brackets. You may have a lot of red X's like mine. I'm told that I still have to go on and talk these brackets. You could have a lot of winners like the leader of our VIP bracket challenge. Let's take a look at the updated standings for you. Here we go. Who endured the round of 32 best so far? John Nicely taking the lead from Amy Clancy. Amazingly, neither one of them had Villanova in the final game. How is that? Steve Rabel also picked Villanova to lose to Duke. Apparently, the rest of us I did not get that memo right now. Steve and I are tied, which is very nice of him, and Jim Whalen from Hyundai of Kirkland bringing up the rear, and he'll need Kansas to come up big. It's the Cairo 7 Bracket Challenge presented by Hyundai of Kirkland. Track your brackets and see how they compare to all of ours on Cairo7.com. After that showing, I need to get back to the comfort zone where I feel good. It's Mariners baseball. After our postgame show tomorrow night, I'm on a plane heading down to Peoria to meet some of these new players. Now, Root Sports still has 8 spring training games left to broadcast as we get you ready for the regular season. That starts on April 3rd in Houston. We've got all 162. And check out this action. Peoria today, the Mariners hosting the Giants. Sasha Iwakuma, the start, gives up 3 runs in 3 2/3 innings, does strike out 5. The Mariners rally in the 6th, scoring 3 runs to get them within 1, then 3 more in the 8th to win it. The final from Peoria, 6-5. Mariners back at it tomorrow afternoon against the Texas Rangers. All righty, that is a wrap. That's it on our show tonight. No more games, no more losses for me. That's good. Join us tomorrow night after CBS's coverage of the NCAA basketball tournament. Thanks for watching. Cairo 7 News at 11 is on the way later tonight. Have a good one. Good night.
Chevy is the